The magic island of Euclidia seems to have as much effect on the lives of our friends in Hollywood as it did when they were on the island. Jerry and Joan went out in the afternoon, and one of the scientists met them on Hollywood Boulevard. When they rushed home to tell Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford that a newspaper extra is on the street with the story of the finding of their submarine, they found Mrs. Gregory alone. The house is protected by automatic alarms. The captain is down at the harbor trying to get further news of the submarines. As Mrs. Gregory explains the alarm system to Jerry and Joan, the signal light flashes in the radio room. Someone has managed to get inside the ground and is entering the house.
Yes, there it is again. Someone is getting into the house.
Well, let's go and do something about it.
Wait, Jerry, wait. We're quite safe in this radio room.
But, Mother, suppose they enter rooms where your valuables are kept.
We have a number of little surprises that will prove very interesting to anyone who goes too far. And we might do something very foolish if we tried to interfere just now.
You mean we just sit still and let the alarm catch whoever it is?
Well, something like that.
Is that possible, Mother?
Almost, Joan. If you'll notice that board where the green lights were flashing, you will note that there are a number of such small lights, and every one of them represents a room or a corridor in this house.
Then the progress of the person breaking in is visible to us at all times.
Exactly.
That's a swell idea, to be able to tell just what room a burglar's in, but what good does it do if we just sit here and let him go through the rest of the house?
Well, there is one room, the study on the second floor, which will be easier to get into than to get out of.
Gee, a trap, huh?
You might call it that.
Will this person be caught in that room, Mother?
Yes. Our most valuable possessions are in that room, and naturally, anything we have which would attract the attention of a person clever enough to get into the house at all must be in that room.
I think we may safely admit the probably high intelligence of this person who is now going through your house.
Well, if it's one of those blame Euclideans, he'll be plenty smart, all right.
And I believe it is one of those Euclideans.
Mother, Jerry, there goes another of the green lights.
Yes, that's the main stairway. Apparently, our friend is making straight for the study.
I hope he gets into it quick. How does the trap work?
Well, every door and window in the room is closed by a steel panel the moment the room is entered by anyone who does not know how to set the switches before entering.
And those steel panels will hold the prisoner safely until you are ready to release him.
Exactly. Captain Bradford designed it, and we've caught a few burglars that way.
I wish he'd hurry up and get in there. Which green light is for that room?
Well, it's the center of the board, and is slightly larger than the others.
I see it.
Oh, so do I. Say, the light right next to it went on.
Yes. The study will be the next room entered.
Will another signal show when the steel panels have closed?
When that happens, an alarm gong will ring.
Will we hear it in the soundproof room?
Yes, Jerry. It's connected in here.
How long should it take?
Any moment now.
Say, Mrs. Gregory, I thought I saw the light next to that one flash on and off.
Next to it?
Yeah, just to the left of it.
There it is again.
Why, you're right. But I can't understand that. Why would anyone pass that room and start on down the service stairs?
Well, I don't know the answer, but from the way those lights are going on and off, he's leaving that room behind and leaving it fast.
May we not go out and intercept him, Mother?
Oh, I think not yet, Joan. If he hasn't entered that room, nothing of value has been touched, and we might find it very dangerous.
If it is someone clever enough to know that that room was a trap, might he not be clever enough to imprison us in this room?
Yeah, that's an idea. Maybe we're in the trap ourselves.
No chance of that, Jerry. In an emergency, this entire side of this room can be made to open out merely by pushing on it. And at the same time, alarms are rung at the police and fire departments. I think you'll find that we can get out.
This is sure some house.
It is indeed. I am surprised, Mother, that you and the captain should seem so impressed with the things you saw on Euclidia. You have nearly the same type of thing here.
Only in a few instances, Joan, dear. The captain is clever, but he's only one man, while Euclidia is a colony of the world's greatest scientists, gathered for a purpose and devoting their lives to science.
That is true.
Well, that reminds me of something I've been wanting to ask you for a long time, Joan. If they're great scientists from all over the world, then a lot of people must know them. Why doesn't somebody worry about where these men are or ask questions about them?
I've often wondered about that, Jerry, and so has Tex.
I think I can answer that, or partly so.
Then hurry up and do it. The way things happen to us, I think we need all the answers we can get.
Are any of G47's men well known to the world, Joan?
It is my belief that a number of the scientists on Euclidia are men who have been well known in various countries of the world.
But if that's true, why didn't we recognize them? Tex knows most of the prominent men in science throughout the world. He's worked with many of them in laboratories and on expeditions. And surely he would have seen someone he knew on the island.
Well, the only thing about that is that all those Euclideans have that funny way of talking. They all use high, squeaky voices.
There you have hit upon the answer, if my belief is true, Jerry.
What do you mean, Joan?
For some time, in fact, since I have grown old enough to understand that there was another world than Euclidia, I have felt that everyone on the island was wearing a disguise and were disguising their voices.
Gee, maybe some of the men we saw on the island are men from this country.
They are from every country, of that I am sure. And most of them are men and women, famous men and women of all countries, who have supposedly been lost with expeditions, or who were passengers on ships which were supposed to have sunk.
Supposed to have sunk?
Yes, Mother. I am sure that many famous people who were supposedly lost at sea and in the air are now associated with G47 on the island of Euclidia.
Golly whiskers. What an idea that is.
It's tremendous. Think what it would mean to the world if it could be proven that many of the famous characters of the last 10 or 20 years, supposedly lost forever, are members of G47's colony.
But why would they do a thing like that?
There are many famous people in all lands who are not satisfied with their lives, or who feel that they would have a greater freedom for their scientific work in such a colony as Euclidia.
I can understand that. But how did they learn of Euclidia? How did they reach the island, become members of the colony without the rest of the world learning of it?
Yeah. How did they know about Euclidia and how to find it?
I believe that G47 has ways of communicating with those persons whom he believes valuable to him.
But, Joan, G47 made it very plain that he considers Captain Bradford important. Yet he made no effort to get him to come to Euclidia.
He came to Euclidia, did he not?
Sure, but that was looking for you.
And how did the news that I was on the island reach you?
Joan, you're right. Why, you must be right. G47 allowed the news of your life there to reach us when he decided the time had come to have Captain Bradford on the island.
Precisely.
And if that's right, then old G47 will keep trying to get Tex or his formula until he does get it.
I think so.
It looks very much as if our experiences with G47 have only started.
Sure looks like it. That old guy sure hangs on to an idea when he gets his hands on it.
And, Jerry, I think you are wrong about that also.
About what?
You always say old G47. I think that if the truth were known, G47 is a young man. I am sure he is under 40, and his beard and heavy glasses are worn only as a disguise.
G47, a young man?
Well, if he's under 40, he's certainly a young man, at least in the professional or scientific world.
Well, that sounds like it might be true. There ought to be some reason for those funny voices all those Euclideans use, and if they're doing it as a disguise, that makes sense.
Indeed it does. But we'll have to forget that for a minute and remember where we are. Our visitor has left the house.
Oh, Mother, we were careless in talking so long. Now all those little green lights have gone out.
Oh, I wanted to go and catch that fella a long time ago. Now it's too late.
No, Jerry, that wouldn't have been wise. We're better off here. The alarm system showed that the study was not entered, and whatever our visitor came after, he didn't get.
Yeah, but don't you
Wait a
think...
minute, quiet, Jerry, quiet, please. Both of you, be very quiet. Hello, Wilmington. Ready. Go ahead.
I've just made some important discoveries which I can't give you now. Have you had a visitor this afternoon?
Yes. The alarm system showed steady progress through most of the house. Jerry, Joan, and myself remained in this room.
That is excellent. Do not leave that room until I arrive.
When will that be?
Within the hour.
Isn't there anything we can be doing?
Nothing, except stay in that room. Do not leave it for any reason, and do not open the door.
I understand.
Johnson may arrive before I do. He has full instructions, but do not attempt to come out and meet him. He will release you. That is all.
That is all. Well, Tex certainly feels that we're in danger.
Yeah, he said not to leave this room.
Does that mean that the intruder whose progress we followed with the alarms has managed to secrete himself within this house?
Well, I would say no. Definitely no.
Then how's he going to hurt us if we go out of this room?
Well, I think it's highly probable that he's left some sort of trouble waiting for us out there.
That could easily be done. And the captain would know that if the element of danger to us had been safely placed from the outside, it may be safely removed from the outside.
That's it, Joan.
You mean that guy left some sort of a trap out there that's set to do something to us when we open the door? But if Tex waits for Johnson to get us out, we'll be all right?
That's the way I see it, Jerry.
And I feel that is correct.
Then it must be right. But why didn't the fellow, whoever he was, take his time and go through the study while he had us penned up in here?
Well, I think we'll find that this visit was purely one of testing our strength. An attempt to get our secrets would have been more carefully planned.
That is reasonable.
Maybe. But it looks to me like there wasn't much wrong with the way this one was planned.
The captain will be here within the hour, he said. Surely we can wait that long.
I know blame well I can.
And I, Jerry. There's no sense in running into a danger we know exists.
But one thing I'd like to know is how Captain Bradford, way down there at the harbor, knows more about what's going on here than we do.
That had occurred to me also.
And I'll have to refuse to answer. There are many things about this home and our system of communication which would add to your knowledge, but it would also add to your danger. And for the present, I feel that you're safer if you know very little about what's going on around you.
Oh, I guess so. But I'd still like to know.
Mother, what is that peculiar odor?
Odor, dear?
Yes.
You're right, Joan. I can smell something.
Well, I wonder...
Smoke.
Jerry.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Gregory. I can smell smoke.
No doubt of it. There is smoke in this house.
Why, this room is supposed to be airtight except for the air conditioning.
Do you suppose that fellow set the house on fire?
Oh, I don't think so. But even if he did, we stay here.
Stay in this room with the house burning?
Yes, this room is fireproof, and it will stand alone if the rest of the house burns to the ground, and the study will do the same.
Are you sure it's safe to remain?
Nothing is ever absolutely safe where fire is concerned, but I'm sure we're safer in here than we would be trying to get out.
Well, I don't like it much. My idea about fires is to try getting out of them.
Would it not be wise to open the door slightly and investigate?
No, sit still, both of you. Tex said for us to stay in this room, to keep that door closed, and we'll stay here if the house burns down